Setting up your SOHCAHTOA fractions to solve a triangle only works for right triangles, because the definition of the hypotenuse is it is the side across from my 90-degree angle. So if I don't have a 90-degree angle, where's my hypotenuse? If you don't have a 90-degree angle when you're trying to solve triangles, you can't use SOHCAHTOA and cross multiply, and you can't use Pythagorean theorem. So what do you have to do instead? Use the law of sines or the law of cosines. So, reminder, you use capital letters to reference your angles, and across from each angle is the corresponding side. Capital A for the angle, across from it is lowercase a for the side. Across from capital B, angle B, is lowercase b or side B. And across from capital C, angle C, is lowercase c, side C. The law of sines is little a, side A, over sine of A equals little b over sine of big B equals little c over sine of big C. Or you can flip them and put all the sine angles on top and the sides on the bottom. So what does this mean? You can pick any two of these fractions that you need to and cross multiply them to solve. One more thing you need to know before we do an example is the angles in a triangle add up to 180. So let's do an example. We are going to solve the triangle. That means I need to find all three sides and all three angles. And notice that I don't have a 90-degree angle. There's none of that little square symbol to denote a 90-degree angle. So I have to use the law of sines here, or law of cosines, which will be next in another video. Okay, first let's label the sides of my triangle. Across from angle A is little a, across from angle B is little b, and across from angle C is little c. Now, the quickest thing to do first is to find any of your missing angles. Since I already know two of my angles, it's going to be really quick for me to find angle A because angles in a triangle add up to 180. So if I want to find angle A, I just need to say A plus B, which is 37, plus C is 32. All of that has to add up to 180. So type that into your calculator, and you'll get that angle A is 111 degrees. All of these examples, I probably forgot to write the degree symbol, but these are all in degrees. All right, now that I know that angle, I can use it to help me find side A, and I can find side B. It doesn't matter if you find side A or side B first. I usually go in alphabetical order, but that's purely just, there's literally no reason for that. I just need somewhere to start, so I like to start with A. So let's find little a first. Okay, we're going to set up the law of sines, fill in all the letters that we know. So little a, we don't know, over sine of big A, sine of 111, equals little b, which we don't know, over sine of big B, which is 37 degrees, equals little c, which is 3, over sine of big C, which is 32. We're looking for A, and we know everything in this angle. So we're going to ignore B for a minute. And I'm just going to use these two fractions here and cross multiply them to solve for A. So I'll cross multiply. And cross multiply. And then I want to solve for A, so I need to divide my sine of 32 over to the other side. All right, everything over here on the right-hand side is just calculator buttons, so you need to get out your calculator. Make sure you are in degree mode. Because we are actually pressing the sine button today, you need to pay attention to whether you're in radians or degrees. Remember, you need to press mode, and you can switch back and forth between radians and degrees here. If you have a graphing calculator, same concept. You can press the mode button, and on the fourth line, switch back and forth between radians and degrees. And if you have one of these calculators, it's the DRG button. Okay, so I am in degrees, so second mode gets me back to the main screen. And now I'm going to type this fraction into my calculator. 3 times sine of 111, close your parentheses, then divide by sine of 32. This tells me that my side A is 5.29, and we don't have units here, so 5.29. All right, we know two sides, so now we just have to find our third side. You cannot use the Pythagorean theorem to find the third side, because yes, we have A, B, and C's here, but which one's our hypotenuse? We don't know because there's no 90-degree angle. So do not use the Pythagorean theorem to find your third side. Instead, we're going to have to use law of sines again. So I'm going to find B, and I'm going to rewrite the whole thing. A is 5.29 over sine of big A equals B is unknown over sine of 37 equals C, which is 3 over sine of 32. Okay, so we definitely want to use this fraction because it has B in it and we're looking for B. And you can choose to cross multiply it with either of the first two or the last two. So either cross multiply with the A fraction or the C fraction. It doesn't really matter. I tend to stick with the numbers that were given to us in the original problem. So I'm going to cross multiply it with the C fraction. But if you cross multiply with the A fraction, it'll give you the same answer. So you just pick two fractions to cross multiply. Solve for B, which means I have to divide by my sine of 32. And then now everything on the right here is just calculator buttons. Make sure you're in degree mode, DEG, and type that in. 3 sine of 37, close your parentheses, divided by sine of 32. And I know that B is 3.41. And now I know all three angles and all three sides, so I have solved my triangle. So recap, you can find your third angle very quickly by subtracting from 180. And for these sides, you set up the law of sines. You take two of these fractions here so you can cross multiply them. You usually end up having to divide, and when you divide, you can just type it quickly into your calculator when you're looking for a side.